Driving from Port Renfrew to COWICHAN Bay. Wake up in beautiful Port Renfrew and grab some breakfast from the Coastal Kitchen Cafe. Pick up a few extra things for lunch as it's going to be another busy day on the Pacific Marine Circle route. This part of the drive will take you through the old-growth forests of Port Renfrew to the rolling hills in COWICHAN Valley. Cell service is very spotty in this area, so you probably won't have any signal for part of today's drive. First stop, Botanical Beach. Before you start the journey from Port Renfrew to COWICHAN Bay, drive down to Botanical Beach. It's just a 5-minute trip in the car down Cervantes Road to the Botanical Beach parking lot. The hike down to the beach is about 1.5 kilometers long, but it can be quite muddy depending on the time of the year. The beach is known for its tide pools, which are filled with colorful coral, starfish and other marine life. Make sure you check the tide tables before you go, as the pool are only visible at low tide, i.e. when the water is out. If you want to, you can continue walking along the rainforest loop to Botany Bay. There are some beautiful views along the way. The trail will then take you back to the car park where you started. The whole loop is about 2.8 kilometers long and takes an hour to walk. Second stop, Avatar Grove. After Botanical Beach, jump back in the car and take a little detour to Avatar Grove. Located about 20 minutes from Port Renfrew, Avatar Grove is home to some of Vancouver Island's oldest and tallest western red cedar and Douglas fir trees. There are actually two groves, the Upper Grove and the Lower Grove. You'll have to climb up and down some wooden stairs and board walks to reach both groves. The highlight is Canada's gnarliest tree, a huge cedar tree with several gnarly burl growths on its lower trunk, which can be found in the Upper Grove. Make sure you wear sensible shoes with good grip, as the trails can be quite muddy and slippery in places. Avatar Grove can be accessed in any car, but the last part of the road is unpaved, so it can be quite bumpy. If you're in a 2WD, just go slowly, and you should be okay. For those of you traveling in a 4WD, you can continue further afield to Big Lonely Doug, the world's second largest Douglas fir. If you don't have a 4WD, you'll have to miss this stop. Seeing Big Lonely Doug is quite a jarring experience, and makes you realize how important it is that we protect old-growth forests in British Columbia. In 2012, the Douglas fir was saved by a logger working in the area, and today it stands alone in the middle of the clear cut. Third stop, Fairy Lake. After your detour, drive back down Pacific Marine Road to where you turned off and continue left to your next stop, Fairy Lake. The lake itself is very pretty, but the real star is the little bonsai tree. This small Douglas fir tree has somehow managed to defy all odds and grow on a partially submerged log near the edge of the lake. The best place to stop and take photos of the tree is along Pacific Marine Road, just past the turnoff to Fairy Lake Recreation Site. Drive slowly and you'll spot it from the road. You can pull over onto the hard shoulder and take some photos quickly. Fourth stop, Lake COWICHAN. Once you've taken some photos, it's time to drive to Lake COWICHAN. This stretch of the Pacific Marine Circle route is about 55 kilometers long, and will take you around an hour to drive, so make sure you have some snacks ready. The town of Lake COWICHAN is located on one of the largest freshwater lakes on Vancouver Island, COWICHAN Lake. This little community is the gateway to some of the island's best boating, hiking and camping experiences. It's also a good place to stop for gas, supplies and something to eat. Stretch your legs after the long drive and pop into some of the local shops. Swordfern Boutique and the Lake Mercantile have a beautiful selection of unique gifts and souvenirs, including home decor, jewelry and clothing. If you're interested in history, check out the Kotsa Station Museum's collection of logging artifacts and beautiful murals. The museum is housed in a restored railway station, and is a great place to learn more about the region's vibrant past. Fifth stop, COWICHAN Bay. After you've had something to eat, continue along the Pacific Marine Circle route to your final stop of the day, COWICHAN Bay. It's a 30-minute drive from Lake Cowichan to Cowichan Bay along Highway 18, aka the Cowichan Valley Highway. Along the way, you'll pass expansive farmland and lush vineyards, and will understand why Cowichan has been dubbed Canada's province. Located on the east coast of the island, Cowichan Bay is a small historic seaside village. Walk along the pier and keep an eye out for Cowichan Bay's local wildlife. Afterwards, pop into the stores on Main Street which sell beautiful gifts and accessories, such as beachology and Wild Coast perfumery. Stop by the Maritime Center and learn more about this small fishing village through the historic exhibits. Spend the afternoon at Blue Grouse Estate Winery. Located just outside Cowichan Bay, the estate is set on 65 acres and is one of the oldest vineyards on Vancouver Island. You can book a guided tasting where you'll get to try 5 different wines or opt for a tour of the vineyard and winemaking process.